Thunder! 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 Thundercat!
Well, that's an interesting overlap. Thank you, Echo, for the host. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Arvanauts, to a Tuesday stream. It is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021, and the time has come for us to listen to chat, you always want to listen to chat, but to really listen to chat as we start the Patreon-fueled chat chosen game of the month, Heaven's Vault, which is the game that was chosen by chat last week. This is the game by Inkle, which is, of course, the same company responsible for the Sorcery series that we have been enjoying on stream. And I'm looking forward to giving this a try and seeing what it's like, because it seems really cool, and it's actually seemed like something interesting that I'd like to try for a while, so we're going to see. So rigged, yeah, Dragon, right. But I am looking forward to giving that a chance. Before we do that, though, I do want to remind everybody about ways to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. And the website for all of this is arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, of course, Arv Shop is the merchandise area where you can check out past broadcasts. Where you can actually support us by checking out the merchandise that we have here for both Infinity and Beyond and for Adventures Middle-earth, and hopefully soon some Esper Genesis stuff over there as well. It's always rigged against the Last Express. Yes, always has been rigged. Eventually you'll get that through, Dragon. At some point, that will win the vote. So yes, we've got that going on. Then we've got Arv Treon is the Patreon, where you can support the channel. It's really the financial backbone of the channel. We have 21 patrons, $193 per month, and that support really is helpful towards being able to do a variety of things actually on this channel. So any kind of stuff along those lines would be much appreciated. So we've got that going on. And then, of course, we've got the sub button, which allows you to sub to the channel, use those custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff. And that is always appreciated if you're able to support us over there as well. Last but certainly not least, on the publishing side, Icarus, for details about my Icarus graphic novel, which just, of course, has been nominated. It is one of the finalists for the IBPA, the Independent Book Publishers Association Benjamin Franklin Awards for Best Graphic Novel of 2021. And so it is a finalist. The final decision will be made. The winner will be announced in May, but I am very excited about that having happened, and that, of course, you can find more about over there with Athos. Library is Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, where you can get stuff for the 5e Adventure and Sourcebook from Alligator Alley. Again, print version of that coming just as soon as Customs decides that it's okay to do it. Let's see. Greyshade KS is my Greyshade Kickstarter, which is supposed to be launching next month, and more details about that coming soon as well. And of course, as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. And of course, BLM and Help Now. That's right, Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. That is also appreciated if people could jump over and support us over there. Now, quick note on schedule. We have got, of course, Heaven's Vault going on now at 4 p.m. Eastern, so we're back to our normal time. We will be over on GOG, where we'll be having Pen and Pixels and Talisman Adventures, and that's going to wrap up my direct involvement on the channel in March, because we are almost out of that stuff. But I have put up the tentative calendar for April, just so people know. We have got Community D&D that is going on. Nope, sorry. Not Community D&D, I beg your pardon. We have got this weekend coming up is going to be Inkle Sorcery 3, The Seven Serpents. We're going to be doing that Friday and Saturday. We're going to have about 3 sessions of this, unless we have cancellations or shifts in schedule. But we're going to have about 3 sessions of this, and 2 of them are going to happen this weekend. After that, we've got a lot of other stuff that goes on starting in April. We have got, let's see, we've got on Monday the 5th, we have Temple of Elemental Evil, more of Grumbler's Guide with Sod. Then on Tuesday, we have got, now right now it says the launch for the Greyshade Kickstarter. That may end up getting pushed back, depending on certain discussions I'm going to have tonight, so it may get pushed back a little bit. It may not be that day. I'll talk more about that. Either way, there will be Adventures of Middle-earth Erebor Adventures on Tuesday the 6th. And then we've got Pen and Pixels, and the reason that that's blank at the moment is that I have not yet decided what it is that I want to play. I promised that I was not going to ahead of time jumped the gun, and I want to think about it. And so I'm going to spend the next couple of days thinking about what I want to play on Pen and Pixels going forward. Because the later stuff, Storm King's Thunder and Talisman Adventures and all that kind of stuff, that's going to be happening later in the month of April. So for the 6th and the 13th, I'm going to have the video game that I'm playing, and I haven't decided what it's going to be. It's the first time in a long time that I have not, hey, what's up, Roms? First time in a long time that I have not actually had something that I knew way ahead of a time that I was going to be playing, which is nice. I'm looking forward to looking through the catalog and making a decision as to what I want to do. And then we've got Wednesday the 7th, we have Community D&D with Echo and Triffity Mats and Rock God and Hoodie, so the Shadow Crew. That's going to be happening Wednesday the 7th. Friday the 9th, we've got Esper Genesis again as we return to the world of space. Saturday the 10th, we've got D&D with INV Palace of the Red Pasha. Sunday the 11th, we have got a joint Speculate Twitch stream of Blades in the Dark. On Monday the 12th, we have Emberwind. On, let's see, Tuesday the 13th, we have got the Way of the Tiger Assassin Gamebook. Terry has now got her new setup so that you can actually see her drawing, physically actually drawing, not just drawing virtually for you, but you'll be able to see a webcam of her doing it on paper. So that's going to be really cool, and that's going to be happening on Tuesday the 13th. And then, as I say, Pen and Pixels, again, not sure what I'm doing for that yet, but I will, of course, know before next week. Then Wednesday, Thursday off. Friday, we have the Seven Serpents. Friday the 16th will be, again, more sorcery. On Saturday the 17th, we have D&D with viewers this month. Sunday the 18th is off. Monday we have, again, more Grumbler's Guide, Temple of Elemental Evil with Sod. Tuesday the 20th, we have AIME again, Erebor Adventures. We have D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder on Pen and Pixels that day. And then we have the Orvocalis on the evening of the 20th. That's the Orvocalis with Neocab. Wednesday the 21st is more of Community D&D. Friday the 23rd, we have Esper Genesis, so that Thursday's off. Friday the 23rd is more Esper Genesis. Saturday the 24th, D&D with INV Palace of the Red Pasha. Sunday the 25th, we have Soundclash the Clampdown, so only one Soundclash session this month because of schedule things going on. Monday the 25th, Emberwind again, and then Tuesday the 27th will be, again, the Patreon Fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month and Talisman Adventures. And then the last stream of April will be Friday the 30th, and that will be, if all goes well, a special joint Speculate Twitch stream of Rebel Crown that I'm playing in. So that's what we've got going on. Should be a fun month. And again, there'll be some movements around. It's always very tentative. Obviously, we haven't even hit April yet. April is going to be hitting us on Thursday. But this way, we have some general sense of what's going on. So you will want to stay posted for that as more stuff comes out and makes available. So that's what we got going on with that. But today, we have got ourselves some Heaven's Vault, and so I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of that, and I'm going to turn on that. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you all. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sure that Dragon Spear is going to be horribly disappointed with me that I would dare to wear this outfit, but what can I tell you? The mullet is growing. I don't want it to be a mullet. I don't want it to be a mullet. I really am trying not to make it a mullet. I've got to actually get it cut back. I'm not fully... I had my second vaccination shot, which I showed off the other day. Still have the Band-Aid, which I'll be able to take off soon. And last Thursday. So I won't be fully immune until a week from this coming Thursday. Ugly. Yeah, I know, Dragon. I know. I know you don't like it. A week from this Thursday will be 2 weeks after they had the shot, after which I'm supposed to be fully vaccinated. And at that point, I'm probably going to make my first appointment for an actual hair appointment in over a year. Last one I had done was March of 2020. So I'm going to be making an appointment to get this cut back. I don't want to cut off. I don't want to go all the way back to short yet. I want to kind of play around a little bit more with possibilities. But I do want to have a situation where it's a little more under control, because right now I don't want it to become mullet world, which is what, I'm afraid that we're running into the potential of, and I do not want. But yeah, otherwise. But yeah, the games, thank you, Brahms. Yeah, the games are coming along. We are making good progress. I actually have a bunch of, all the books are out of boxes now, and the books are all up on the shelves in various places, and I think I'm going to actually have more room for the books than I already knew I was going to, but I definitely am going to with the shelves I have, which is good because it'll let me put some other stuff there that I need to be. So I'm still a couple of weeks away because I need to finish putting the books up. Then I've got to got to file away a few other boxes of mementos and the like. Then I have to put up all the like posters and stuff like that, and I'm going to have that logo over there. Although the logo may not come for a couple of months because Little Arv is going to be painting that, but my logo over there. But otherwise, then I'm going to be pretty much together, and then I just have to do some parts of the rest of the house that need to be, more unpacked and kind of moved into. We've unpacked with most of the rooms already, but the dining room, we still got to do some work. We still got to do some work in my wife's office, and stuff like that. So we're getting there. We're making it up front. Business up front and party up back. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I as I mentioned before, I've never actually had my hair longer ever. Like I've never had my hair that long, and so I just wanted to see what it was like, and I kind of like it. There's a part of me that's going a little bit for the Stephen Colbert pandemic look, if you've seen what that's like, where he's got sort of the wavy hair, and so I kind of like that. So I'm thinking about that, but I do not want the mullet. If any of you saw the picture of Ted Cruz at the border, I definitely don't want any part of that look. So yeah. Just go smooth McGroove. Yeah, that guy is legit. That guy's hair reminds me of another person, and I can't think of who it is. Reminds me of somebody, but anyway. So yeah, so I'll have to get posters up there, and then the last step in the office move part is going to be to put up, decide with lighting at night, especially like light strips. During the day, this place is spectacular light-wise. Like it's just perfect. Like I could not. This is already, the aperture's way down. I absolutely adore the look of this place light-wise. It's just the best. I love this room in the day. At the nighttime, though, I could use probably a little more lighting, and I want to figure out if I want to do another light panel over here or do something. I want to figure out a way that I want to kind of adjust things and possibly do light strips along those beams that you see above me in the back. So I have to decide about that. But I'll get there. But I mean, in general terms, though, I'm feeling really good about the way everything is coming together in terms of the move. And still I have to like change car registrations and do annoying things like that. But I feel like in general we're making good progress. And as you may have seen on my Twitter, we had neighbors just randomly come by and introduce themselves. Not even our immediate neighbors. They're neighbors from like a block over, down the street and then down. And a woman came over with two kids, one of whom was her own daughter and one of whom was a friend of her daughter, another friend of the family. They came over and said hi, and they, talked to my daughter, and because they're about my daughter's age roughly. And they brought me a basket of eggs because they have chickens. And I was like, I mean, this is just what you do. I don't know if I ever had a neighbor the entire 17 years that I was living in New York City. I'm not sure that I ever had anybody come over and say like, hi, how are you doing? I don't think I ever had anybody do that. I had people once we got to know them that this happened, but it's a very, very different world, and it's pretty cool, I have to say. So what's up, Pokerun? Yes, I moved. Yeah, and I mean, and they're free eggs. Like, what can you say? And yesterday, the guy who's coming over is going to be probably doing some help with the landscaping was talking about like how to, chickens and whether we have. I'm like, do I ever want to have a chicken? I was like, I don't know. That'll be interesting. But yes, Okiran, yes, I moved. I actually moved earlier this month. I guess it was the first week of March, something like that. Second week of March. So I've been in this place about 2.5 weeks roughly, and we are. I'm not all the way moved in. My games are pretty much moved in. Books are still going up. I haven't put posters up yet, and paintings and stuff. But that's the next stage. But yeah, we moved to a 200-year-old sea captain's house, former sea captain's house, and he was always a sea captain, but it was his former house. So yeah, I'm here. This is my new streaming space, and so yeah, I dig it. Chelsea versus Arsenal, we will see. I have no dog in that fight, Echo. I literally was thinking today, and it's funny when I was putting it on, I was like, yeah, I'm like, I could wear the Man U shirt, but I was like, I don't know, I'm feeling the Arsenal shirt today. And I was like, I wonder how Dragon's going to react to it if he's here. And of course, Dragon is here and just like, blah. So it gets curlier and curlier as it gets. Yeah, mine is definitely looped underneath, which you can probably see back there. Like mine is actually looped underneath a little bit, as opposed to just, I mean, the only thing that's obnoxious is that the long hair thing, dealing with it when I don't have a hat on and dealing with it like falling in front of my eyes is like a new phenomenon with me that I've never had to deal with. So me constantly doing this, like tossing my hair back like I'm Marilyn Monroe, like, you know, and I mean, I have like gel and stuff like that I use. In fact, I use this stuff, styling gel with flaxseed, and then I have a little hold thing to keep it in place. And this is pretty good because it's alcohol free, so it doesn't dry out the hair, and it moisturizes, and it's pretty good. It's from a company, I believe, in Mexico, actually, that makes it. So this stuff is not bad. But I definitely need to do that, because if I don't, and it's funny because, I mean, I've been doing this over the pandemic. I have no idea what it's going to be like when I'm off sabbatical and I'm back at school in the fall, because presumably they're going to have us back in person in the fall, assuming we avoid this wave that's coming at us. But presumably after we get to the end of the summer, that virus wave, that vaccine wave, the virus wave will be dropping for the last time, because the vaccines are continuing to ramp up. I'll be fully vaccinated, so my guess is that they will probably be having people back in classrooms in September. And so that'll be the first time that I've ever had a situation where I have to, like, you know, wash up, like get dressed, do all my stuff, get in the car, drive down to my work, right? Get out, walk up to my room, all of while the wind is going through the hair, you know, so it's a whole thing. Oh, awesome, Okaran. All right, good luck on the second vax shot. Keep us posted on how it goes. Keep it on how it goes. Arsenal's your team. Good stuff, man. So anyway, yeah, good luck on stuff. Hey, Hillness. So, yeah, so that's what we've got going on. Very exciting. But anyway, so that's the deal with The Office. So, but that said, let us get into the game for today, which again is Heaven's Vault. As I say, I thought this was a really cool concept to begin with. Inkle's one of those companies that does a lot of these interesting, you know, concept games. They remind me a little bit of Fail Better Studios, except that does the Sunless Sea and Sunless Sky games and all that stuff that I sometimes play around Halloween. The thing about Fail Better, though, is that I think basically they do, and they also did Fallen London, they do the same kind of game over and over again. Which is fine, but it's just that's their shtick. That's what they do. My sense is that Nomad Games does that a little bit also, but that's mostly just because they have this big franchise with Talisman, and so they want to just keep working on that, which I totally get. But Inkle is unusual, maybe a little bit like Supergiant Games, although Supergiant is bigger, in that they try to do something that's very different. You know, Supergiant doesn't do stuff the same, although there are certainly, you can see, like echoes of things from before, including voice actors are obviously the same. The composer, Darren Korb, is the same. But in terms of like actual game mechanic and feel, Hades feels very different from something like Bastion, which a little bit different from Bastion and a lot different from Transistor and, you know, Pyre and all that stuff. Inkle reminds me a little bit of that, in that Inkle does very different kind of games every time they produce one. And there are indie developers like this, people like the guy who did Return of the Obra Dinn and Papers, Please, whose name I can't remember now. They do very different stuff as well. But in terms of a small company, this is one of the unusual one for that. Nor I received the J&J. I'm pretty sure the J&J is only one shot, though, Echo. If you got AstraZeneca, you're supposed to get the second shot that is also AstraZeneca. Hey, Mrs. Dunsel, how are you? So that's the deal. As far as which vaccine, I mean, the answer to that, Hillness, is whichever one is available, for sure, because they are all effective, literally 100% effective against against severe disease and death. 100% effective against death. Every vaccine that exists for this, which is pretty amazing. I mean, if you literally had a choice, if it was like I can get either one, my sense has been that the Pfizer is probably the combination of most effective with the fewest side effects, because the Moderna is a stronger dose. And so the Moderna has a tendency to create slightly stronger side effects in some people. And it's also like several tenths of a percentage point less effective. But I mean, it's like essentially nil, though. I mean, I hate even saying that because it's essentially nil. Pfizer and Moderna are like 1 and 1A. I think Pfizer's maybe a touch better, maybe, but Again, I think that's minor. Beyond those, it depends. Like if you have a choice between them, the Johnson and Johnson one is a more traditional vaccine. The two, Moderna and the Pfizer, are both based on mRNA, which is a new technology for vaccine delivery, whereas this other one is, I believe, an inactivated virus, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a little bit different. AstraZeneca, I think, is inactivated as well. So those are more traditional models. And the Johnson and Johnson is not as effective as preventing complete disease, although that's misleading because the Johnson & Johnson was also being tested in the population when the variants that we're dealing with now were circulating, whereas Moderna and Pfizer were being tested when those variants didn't exist. So you can't totally compare oranges to oranges here, but that's the sense of that. And then the AstraZeneca, from everything that I've heard, is also an excellent vaccine. The person that I would recommend to go look for this is a guy named John Campbell, who is on YouTube, who posts literally every day, one, sometimes two videos. He is a doctor and a health information specialist who gives lots of information about stuff and interviews people. And his stuff is really interesting. Like he goes into detail on various statistics and what it means and the impact of this. And he looks at it internationally. So he looks at things in India and Brazil and Australia and New Zealand. He actually has people who report to him from Australia and China and different places like that. And of course, he talks about the US, Europe, and the UK, which is where he is. So I would recommend that you take a look at him because he goes through some of these videos in which is better and worse. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. I got the Pfizer. I had practically no side effects. I mean, I had arm soreness, mild to moderate, the first one, maybe a transient headache, maybe. The second one, I had a mild soreness, maybe. I don't even know if it got into moderate soreness, to be honest. And maybe I felt slightly warm one night and my arm was a little swollen, and that's it. I mean, I pretty much I got very lucky in terms of side effects there. And more people than not are not going to have side effects, remember, because the number of people who reported are 40 to 45%, but 50 to 55% of people don't have side effects at all. So you have a better chance of not having any than having them. But even if you do get them, they will pass quickly. And it is much better than the alternative of getting COVID, even if you were to get COVID when you were not vaccinated and survive it. And yes, your chances are good that you would survive it. The long-term debilitation, the long-haul COVID stuff is scary. You do not want to mess around with this. So the only way we get to herd immunity here is if everybody continues to do what they're doing with physical distancing and masking and all that, washing hands and all that stuff, but also, most importantly, getting vaccinated. I did it, and I did it 3 weeks apart, just like you're supposed to. The minute you're eligible, wherever you are, make sure that you get vaccinated regardless of what they have, because any vaccine that is available, at least in the United States, and most of them that are available in Europe, whether it is AstraZeneca or Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer or Moderna, they're all good. So, yeah. You're going for Pfizer. Good. Yeah. Yeah, exactly what Mrs. Dunsel said. Yeah, I mean, booking an appointment is the most important thing. Yeah, but I mean, remember though, Burner and Dragon though, just remember though, again about the Johnson & Johnson, that Johnson & Johnson, again, that number's misleading, Burner, because that was tested against the variants. And so if you had tested the Pfizer and the Moderna against the variants, they may also not have been as effective. I do want to point out that both vaccines, and the Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca, are still hugely effective against severe illness and are literally 100% effective. As far as I know, I don't think a single person has died of COVID, maybe one or two, since getting this any of the vaccines, which is an incredible figure. So if you get vaccinated, you will have a far, far less severe form, even if you do end up getting it. Even if you do end up getting infected later on, and your chances of being infected are less. Also, viral transmission, they have now shown in 2 CDC studies, viral transmission is way lower for people who have been vaccinated. So they have now shown 2 studies. Now they need to confirm those with other studies, but these are now randomized, the whole 9 yards, trials that have proven that does in fact reduce viral infection and transmissibility, which is a big thing that you want. Every scientist that I talk to, and I actually know a guy who used to work for Pfizer, everyone that I ever talked to that knows something about science said every vaccine reduces transmissibility, just about every vaccine. So the idea that this was not going to do this was silly, but it's nice to know that there's actually now actual tangible information that demonstrates that transmissibility is reduced by having this. So there are no downsides to it. You need to get vaccinated because that's the only way that we're going to have that. So, right, tested in multiple countries or regions. Exactly, Artisan. Yeah. So, we need to do it not just for you, but again, for anyone you're going to come in contact with, for your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your significant other, your children, your nephews, cousins, your colleagues, your coworkers, your students. You're responsible. You are your brother's keeper. And so you are responsible for people around you, and you do need to think about them too. So think about yourself, self-preservation. I want to be around a good long time to watch my kids grow up. I want to be around a good long time to, continue to further my own career and all that sort of thing. I want to do stuff and hang out with all of you, right? For a good long time. Beyond that, I want to make sure my family gets that same chance. So, that's why it's important. All right. With all that said, let us talk a little bit about Alien Worlds, okay? Now, I have a question. Has anybody played Heaven's Vault? Has anyone played this game? Same, Dragon. Would be happy to meet someday. And I will check that later on, Echo. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Artisan. Climb the stone staircase more ancient than the mind can imagine. Find the cornerstone and under it the copper box that is marked with his name. Unlock it. Open the lid. Take out the tablet of lapis lazuli. Read the Epic of Gilgamesh, 1300 BC. The Epic of Gilgamesh, you say? Do you mean this? This? Adventures of Gilgamesh? Once upon a time, there lived in the city of Erech a great and terrible being whose name was Gilgamesh. 2/3 of him were god, and only 1/3 was human. He was the mightiest warrior in the whole of the East. None could match him in combat, nor could anyone's spear prevail against him. Because of his power and strength, all the people of Erech were brought beneath his sway, and he ruled them with an iron hand, seizing youths for his service and taking to himself any maiden he wished. At length they could endure it no longer and prayed to heaven for relief. The Lord of Heaven heard their prayer and summoned the goddess Aruru, that same goddess who, in olden time, had fashioned man out of clay. Go, said he, and mold out of clay a being who will prove the equal of this tyrant, and let him fight with him and beat him, that the people may have relief. Thereupon the goddess wetted her hands, and taking clay from the ground, kneaded it into a monstrous creature whom she named Enkidu. Fierce he was, like the god of battle, and his whole body was covered with hair. His tresses hung long like a woman's, and he was clothed in skins. All day long he roamed with the beasts of the field, and like them he fed on grass and herbs and drank from the brooks. But no one in Erech yet knew that he existed. Yay! What's up, Triffid? So, yeah, Adventures of Gilgamesh. Yeah, we're going to play, Echo. We're going to play. I wanted to read it because I literally was just putting this stuff away in the bookcase last night. And this is my dad's... some of these are my dad's markings, which are very unique to my father. So I can always tell when I have a manuscript that was... Like my dad would put stuff... My dad would mark all this stuff up and all that, so I love Gilgamesh. Okay. So, I haven't had a chance, other than just looking at the documentary information that you saw, Echo, which looks cool. It does look neat. I'm interested to see what what it looks like when it actually comes out. All right, so good start, Epic of Gilgamesh. I have not played this game at all, other than just start and make sure that it works. How are we doing with volume, by the way, folks? I already changed this. That's a little worrisome. Well, it was a dark time, Miranda. I did watch Lord of the Rings in Blu-ray? Yes. Yes, I did. I did. Not 4K, though. We had that discussion. Okay, so there we've got that. Yes, I want to show subtitles. Okay. Okay. All right, let's do it.
Stories don't have tidy beginnings. The past is always present. But there has to be a spark. Something that brings the past to light.
Please climb carefully. One last corner. We're almost... Alright, so we got her plus her robot. At the top. Take a moment to rest before you walk, mistress, please. Alright, I'll take a moment. Oh, I need more. Hold on, hold on. I need more mouse sensitivity than that, please. No, I still need more than that. Let's go. Alright, that's better. Okay. So I guess you use up stamina? Yes, those were my father's marks, Echo. My father would read through something, and he would not only... He would add comments. He would add comments through this. So, like, for example, there in that section I was just reading you, Gilgamesh is dealing with Enkidu, and eventually Gilgamesh and Enkidu become best of friends. But they are battling each other, and it makes everything clunky. Yeah, Dragon. And so, but he would say like he'd comment in the margins. So he says, so anyway, Gilgamesh and Enkidu are fighting, and it says, at last Gilgamesh sank to the ground and knew that he had indeed met his match. And then my father commented, no, for he prevailed over Enkidu. So he prevailed over E. Like, my father would do little marks like that all the time. Yeah, he reacted very much like a reader would react or a viewer of a movie would react in real time. Someday I have to read to you folks my copy of The Hobbit, where my dad would just, like, he just went crazy over it, where he was just like, you know, like in the whole riddle section with Bilbo and Gollum, like he has all these markings in the side, like, don't trust him, and exclamation point, and all. It's very cute because it sort of is, it's kind of and haunting, honestly, because it's sort of a reminder of watching my father react to something as a person who, in this life anyway, I can no longer encounter and haven't been able to for over 20 years. And so it's an interesting experience to read a book that shows that kind of indication. So, okay. This is the summit. This is as far as the path goes. I don't have anything I can interact with yet. Yeah, exactly. Which is what he used to basically do, Miranda, when we were watching TV or something. It was a little bit frustrating. Ugh, no. Horror, no thank you. A bricked up opening. There is something here. Interesting that it has a little fade of where she was. To keep people out, do you think? Or to keep something in? Something written here. Ancient script. This must have been cut in when the mortar was still wet. But I think I can read it. Alright. Clear as anything. Heaven's Vault. Yes. Oh, I see, I see. The University of Iox, I assume? Some weeks earlier. All right, press the key.
My story begins on Iox.
Iox, okay.
That was where I met the robot.
I would love to do that, Dragon, but I worry about whether or not that's going to fall afoul of terms of service rules. I would love nothing more than to read Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. My favorite books, obviously. Mistress Alia. Heaven's Vault, achievement unlocked. Mistress Alia Alasra. Another Meat 6, another robot to add to the collection. I have been waiting for you. I have been asked to escort you to Professor Miari. She is very anxious for your arrival. Wait, what? Professor Miari wants me back on Iox. Hopefully I'm not getting thrown out of the university. Oh, you can go back? The Holy Ioxian Empire is based out of the Imperial Palace and ruled by a deified emperor. Okay. According to legend, the crown of Iox was made for the first empress herself. Okay. Iox fell to invaders and the empire was destroyed, but the emperor himself escaped. His body was never found. Okay. Achievement unlocked. This is actually the GOG.com version, by the way. And right now, if you want, you can use my affiliate link down below this window. It is 50% off, chat, right now, this game. So, yeah, no, I know, Dragon, and I am thinking about it. I want to do some kind of research on it and see. I wouldn't mind doing that. I mean, I'd have to find a way to kind of fit it into the schedule elsewhere. But, I mean, listen, twist my arm. I mean, read The Hobbit. I would love to do that. I'd love to even have the Our vocalist do it. I've read, obviously, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings to my daughter. Read The Hobbit twice to my daughter, actually. So, and when my son is old enough, I'll read it to him, too. The link, there, I don't have a specific link, but give me a second, actually. I should probably do that. I should probably put up a game command. Thank you, Echo. I don't know if does that have my link to it? I think it does, right? I think that's my link. Thank you very much, Echo, for doing that. Yeah, that's the link. Let's see. Okay. The Fallers destroyed the Empire, but they never extended their reach beyond Iox. Generations passed in obscurity. Okay. The Loop faith of the Holy Empire is revived in Iox. Okay. Very little is known of the years between the fall of the Iox and the founding of the Iox Protectorate. And the University of Iox established was founded to study the events within the Loop, soon expanded to cover robotics, mathematics, hopper physics, and other fields. All right. Initially encompassing only Elbreth and Iox, it soon expands to incorporate other moons. All right. Whatever Professor Moriarty wants to tell me is so urgent she sent a robot to stop me getting lost. Okay. Let's see. And who are you? Thank you, Echo. As is apparent, this way. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go back to this in just a second. What age? I think I probably read The Hobbit to Little Arv when she was, for the first time, when she was 7, either 6 or 7. And then I read it to her again a couple of years ago. And also, I also have that NPR version that we've talked about, Dragon, that also we've listened to a bunch of times as well. But yeah, I would say so. Probably that's when I'll start reading it to Mini Arv as well, as when he's 6 or 7. Yeah. Do you have a name, robot? Is that intended to be a joke, mistress? No. Robots do not have names. We are, as I understand it, interchangeable. I've known a few robots. They're all a little different. How kind of you to say so, mistress. So why has she sent you? Not sure about this weird sort of graphic style of them moving up. Did you do something wrong? That seems unlikely. My ethical code protects me from serious error. This way, you should know that the professor's urgency was remarkable. Maybe we should keep her waiting. Don't want her making a habit of impatience. I cannot recommend that course, mistress. They can't be giving me another robot. They normally wait for me to lose the ones I'm given. I beg your pardon, mistress. Why is Mayari's room so far from everything? I imagine she enjoys her view of the tree, mistress. I am sure it is most pleasing to her. The tree of knowledge, or so they call it. Each branch grows more branches. All right, the tree is still there. The whole university centers around it. Okay. This UI is a little weird. Till you finally reach the sun, whatever that is. All right, so this is how you interact with the world. All right, let's go with that. Look at her. She looks like a tiger in a cage. A most curious analogy, mistress. You understand I will be required to report it. Required to? Of course. Professor Mayari is my primary user, mistress. Nevertheless, I will try to sugarcoat your opinion. You do that for me? Of course. I have been tasked with your well-being. Shall we proceed? I went outside the university grounds once exploring. This is a very beautiful moon. You could tell it was once lush, fertile. There must have been huge forests, lakes, rivers. They're all but dry now. Can we slow the speed down a little bit? It's going awfully fast. Let's speed that back a little bit. You're not been outside? No.
I was 15 when Mayari rescued me from the slums of Elbereth and brought me here. I'd never seen such luxury or such kindness.
Because I asked that my tuition began in earnest. Thank you, Illness. Oh, the 13, you mean? I see. Okay. Well, let's back up a little bit. This is weird. I get so my birth, yes. I don't know the true date. The Grey Ladies gave me a day different from the other children in the orphanage. Oroi and I became friends sneaking around the hall. She stole screwdrivers and I stole books. The Grey Ladies raised me and found me work from the moment I could walk. I would later work for Timur in his bar, washing up and fetching supplies. What brought Miori there I've never understood. We never thought we would leave the orphanage. Adulthood seemed impossibly far away. It was on Ajax that my tuition began in earnest. Timur always had another job for me and another reason for me to stay around. I began to study formally in the same group as Huang. I met Tappy. Ori introduced me to him. He helped her to get started after I left Elbereth, providing her with tools and simple projects. Okay, so I'm not going to read the rest of this because it probably doesn't make any sense, but now we know a little bit about Miari.
I still don't know why she did it.
Professor Miari? Aliyah, there you are. Come in. I came as soon as I got your message. You don't need to flatter me, Aliyah. Nonetheless, I'm glad you came. I know your work is important to you. I'll do what I can to help you, Professor. Thank you, Aaliyah. I appreciate your kindness. You're our expert on history. Tell me what you make of this. It's a brooch. Yes, Aaliyah. But I didn't summon you halfway across the nebula to tell me that. It's certainly old. Empire period. The device is the Eagle and Sun. One of the scholars sent this brooch to me. Janiqui Renba. Did you know him? From the Eagle and Sun design, clearly an Empire period piece. Okay. Maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, nice. Look at the detail. I see them. Ancient markings. I know they're a hobby of yours, Aaliyah. But can you read them? Eagle wing brooch. I've never seen either of these groupings before, but the two words have some common elements, so they must have related meanings. Let's assume holy. Holy Emperor. Holy Emperor? But I'm only guessing. An Empire period brooch in the shape of the Eagle and Sun. I don't know if that helps at all. Renba wasn't the kind to send me trinkets. There's some significance to this brooch, but I don't know what. Janiqui told me he'd found something. It was over a month ago. Janiqui isn't like you. He's an Eoxian, through and through. It's true. You're worried about him? He's important to me, and I don't know what he was doing out there. He told me he was going to a moon called Mercy. I can't go hunting the nebula for missing people, Aaliyah. But you can. That's what you do, isn't it? Find things? Alright, so I can... Mercy's a tiny rural moon. It's where Janiqui told Professor Miari he was going right before he disappeared. But why would he be visiting a rice farm? I could go there next. Alright. I'll see what I can dig up. Thank you. Come back when you've found him, Aaliyah. And Aaliyah, you're taking that robot with you. Thank you, Professor. I long to see the nebula. Miari seems to trust me. Why wouldn't she? Oh, and before you go, you should look in on Huang. He was eager to see you. Eager why? Aaliyah, really. I couldn't possibly imagine. I know he's rather beneath you, but you could at least say good faith to him. For the benefit of our little community. I'll bear that in mind. You're as cold as the rivers themselves, well suited to the stars. He's down there by the tree. You must have walked straight past him on your way in. Good hunting, my dear. Jeez. I don't know, I mean, she's just like... hasn't said anything particularly cold yet. The heck, lady? Would you recognize Renba if we saw him? Did you meet him? I believe he activated me, mistress, after I was uncovered. I suspect that is why Professor Miari assigned me to you. I see. Okay, so those are those inscriptions. So I guess we gather more information about this as time goes on. I'm guessing. Wait. Holy Emperor, right? So I need to find out what this is. I may be completely wrong, and I need to find out more information. All right, well. Should we go down, mistress? I mean, that's what I'm doing. Can I just say, Mistress Aaliyah, it is wonderful to be accompanying you. Oh, yes? And why is that? I find humans fascinating, and you are very different to most here. I have only recently been activated. I'm calling you 6. 6, mistress? I shall remember that. I wonder if I got Mayari's translation correct. I think I did. The shape shows this is an Empire piece. Oh, nice. I got it right. Language Initiate, learn one word. Hell yeah. First try, chat. Easy game. My secret stash is now open for business? What? What's up, Rob? How you doing, man? What are you talking about? My secret stash. What do you refer to, sir? Okay, so I got Emperor right. No, I do see Rob's new name. It makes sense the words would be almost the same. No, I saw Rob's new branding, which is really his old branding. I got that right too? Hell yeah. Got it right. Oh, so you're saying this is like my version of the secret stash? Is that what you're saying? I gotcha. Yes. Okay. So you were really dug out of a wall on Iox? I believe I was removed from a wall. The exact events are hazy. What do you think of the sculpture? It has a pleasing balance to it. I agree. Mayari must like it too. She has a model just like it on her desk. Why would you emphasize that? Model on her desk? Right, there's Huang. Six, how long were you buried here? I have no idea, mistress. I do not remember it. And you don't know why you were buried? No, mistress. I can only assume I was not needed. A D&D fantasy equivalent out in the con. Hey, I'm going to be able to do some. Oh, is there going to be a certain Icarus situation going on with that Hillness? That would be pretty sweet. And also, it's interesting, Rob, because right down here, I don't want to move my camera around right now, but like right down to my left is where I have room, and I could put, basically I have like a card table type of thing, folding card table black, and one that's brown for that matter, that I would put underneath here, so I could easily put like board game here, and then be able to move a webcam up so that I've got the webcam down on the board, and then I've got this cam, for me. So there are those possibilities exist. I know, right? So were you off while you were buried on Iox? Asleep? Is that why you can't remember it? I do not know, mistress. I cannot remember. Maybe the roboticists wiped your memory after they dug you up. If I'd been buried alive for 100 years, I'd be mad. It was longer than that. 1,000 years, perhaps. But I cannot remember them. No, totally. I understood that. I wonder what else you used to know. No, I totally get that, Rob. Like, I mean, this is reflective of who you are now and has been for a while, you know, so. Aaliyah. Okay, achievement unlocked. People Huang. Meet a friendly scholar. I didn't know you were back on Aox. How are you, Huang? Well enough, well enough. I've been reading all day. I just came outside to rest my eyes, and there you were. What were you reading? The Annals again. Did you know Mazwai claims the Holy Empire was founded by 3 wolves racing to heaven? Each one tore the throat of the other, and as the 3 fell to earth, are you really interested? Absolutely. What's that expression? All right, most people glaze over.
He began to talk with such passion that his eyes glittered, and he seemed to grow at least an inch taller.
Aaliyah? I know, right? That was fascinating. There's hundreds of volumes like that. Sometimes I think there are 3 stories to explain everything and none of them agree. Other times I think there's just one story that gets retold for every occasion. I'll walk you to the dock. Let's see. Wang, do you know Janiki Renba? But I know Renba, of course. Wait, well, a little? Why? What did he teach? He's a roboticist. One of the best. One of the few. Did you say did? Has something happened to Janiqui? I don't know, Huang. I'm sure it's nothing bad. Oh my. Before you go, it hardly seems important now, but I found a line of ancient in the annals of Mazwai I thought you might like. If you have time, that is. Hell yeah, all the languages. Always. Here, see what you think. Empress. Passage from the Annals. Empress. I know one of these words. I'll have to guess the other 2. Empress. Banished. Robots. Empress banished robots? I think that's correct. It's quite a monster, isn't it? But I thought there weren't any robots in the Empire. This suggests otherwise. I have to say, I don't... So I'm enjoying this so far, although I want to get more into the game side of it. I find the graphics distracting, though. I don't really know what they were going for here. Like, I get the idea of having this sort of feet that are not very visible. Number one, saves them processing and programming power and animating power and time, because it's a lot harder to have to deal with that animation. So by just vaguing it out, right, they make it so that it's not as big a deal for them to worry about programming wise. And I can see this sort of connotation from a story point of view, but I find it's weird to me because it, like, the drawing feels very amateurish and just sort of like tacked on. So it's not different enough to seem stylized, and it's not obviously real enough to feel like you're not going to challenge, you know, The Witcher or AAA titles, which again, they're indie. I don't think they have to do that, but I find this a little, I don't know. It's not Uncanny Valley exactly. It's that I find myself constantly looking and being like, what is this? So, I don't know. Anyway, I'd best not keep you. I hope you find Renba. Shall we proceed to your ship now? Have you sailed before, Six? I have no idea, mistress. But I am keen to find out. And so we left the hallowed walls of the university. Okay. Yeah, I don't... It's strange. Aboard the Nightingale. My ship is my refuge. It's the only place that's truly mine. Oh, is that true? Is that actually... See, I couldn't tell if it was Arabic or if like there were aspects of Arabic or what. They're obviously mixing things up. Supposedly there are like 1,000 different words you can discover, which, to be clear, is not much of a language. Language has many, many thousands of words. 1,000 is nothing. But for a game, you know... The journey to Mercy should be quick, mistress. Nice place, is it? I do not believe so, mistress. I believe it is a farmyard. Why does a roboticist go to a farm? To study the competition, perhaps? Or perhaps there are robots buried on Mercy. Are there robots buried on Mercy? Most likely not. It is a moon of pigs and rice, mistress. Part of the Ajax Protectorate, of course. Mercy it is, then. It should be a quiet spot, at least. I will prepare the ropes. Yeah, okay, Dragon, interesting. Well, all right, let's plot a course. Ioxian space, sailing to Mercy in the Verdant Pass.
Mayari wanted us to sail to Maerzi. It was a short sail
Ooh.
through vast waters.
This is cool. I see the force of the river is fastest in the middle, mistress. Whoops, I think I screwed that up. Surface, it appears the same, but there are deeper currents below. I like the music. What? All right. Okay, so I am supposed to go to where... Okay, all right. I got confused. All right. What's up, Mar? This is your ship, mistress? The river to the right should bring us to Mercy, mistress. I call the ship the Nightingale. I found her in a ruined hall on Elbereth, covered in dust. She must have been someone's prized possession once. She's mine now. It's kind of cool. Haha, Heaven's Vault. There you go, Ernth. That's Mercy. You can see the greenery from here. Yeah, I kind of like the ship part. I just don't understand the in-person style. Seems odd to me. Mercy, a farming moon. If Renba's here, I need to find him. And if he's not, I need to work out where he went. Ooh, and also, actually, now that I think of it, let me just double check something here. Because I think I may have something. Do I? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, I do. I may be able to give something away at the end of this. So remind me, chat, please, at the end of this that I said I was going to give something away. Courtesy of Inkle itself. Yeah, the disconnect, reconnect sounds. I could get rid of those, honestly. Wait a second.
We stepped off the ship and into the mud. Mud covered the ground and rock.
Oh God, what is it doing?
And everywhere I looked, things were growing from the mud.
All right, I may need to restart the game
and some
because
of those things had legs.
Because it's screwing around with my mouse cursor. I love the music. Look at this place. Breathe the air. I cannot breathe, mistress. But rest assured I am most happy for you all the same. Another achievement unlocked. Well then, let's see what Renba's got to. Mercy, a moon of fresh air and pigs. If we're really lucky, I'll have found an old pot. Okay. I need to restart because the it didn't like it when I alt-tabbed, so I'm going to try this again. All right. Yeah, so far I like the music. I'm not crazy about the art style. I find the UI is a little weird so far, so we'll see. Story so far. Lee and her new Robot 6 are on the trail of the missing roboticist Janika Renba. He was last heard of visiting the farming moon of Mercy. Aliyah has been asked to sail there and investigate.
Yeah. Steps off the ship and into
the reason I'm not doing that right now, Burner, is because I guess I could do that. I have it that way for sorcery because of where the sorcery buttons are, so that it doesn't clip with that.
And
so that's why I put it that way.
Were growing from the
if
mud.
It gets annoying, I can change it, but.
And some of those things had legs.
Right, we already saw this. Yeah. So I like the background graphics okay. I just find that like the figures, the pigs, the robot, her, I find that all kind of odd. If we're really lucky, we found an old pot. Yes, I saw this part. So where do we start? There's a series of rice terraces. If we climb up away from the water, that should take us to the village. This way then. Yeah, the walking motion is odd.
The air smelled earthy and sweet.
Rice. Do they grow anything else here? Yeah, pigs. It would not appear so. A warehouse. I thought I saw a face at the window. A woman. She ducked out of sight. All right, let's go find out why. All right, woman. Whoever you are, I've seen you. Now that I've seen you, everything has changed. You gotta be kidding me. I can't go up? Is that really... Moon seems most poor to me. There are no proper buildings. Whoa, 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 what? What the hell? Okay. Like this. Okay. Never been off of Iox before. Forget it, 6. Just maybe keep your voice down a little. What? Why? I will wait out here, mistress. You! I'm sorry if I startled you. I wasn't crying. Don't tell them I was crying. Are you in trouble? You are from Iox? My name is Aaliyah. Then you are not her. Not Miari. I'm not Miari. I'm sorry. I should have said nothing. Hey, wait. What? Tell me what... Ooh, what's this? Janiqui, where are you? Can I not interact with that? Buried in the mud somewhere? Isn't there something right down there and I can't... Why can I not... Yeah, I don't also... Most curious, mistress. You heard? But I did not understand. 2D comic imposed on 3D. Perhaps you should return to the ship. Try the village first. You talk to some more people. Village center will be at the highest point, mistress. Alright, well. To guard against flooding. Can you take me higher? Yeah, something doesn't quite work with this UI either. How much higher? One more level, huh? Okay. What did you make of Renba's brooch, 6? The one he sent to Miari? I was struck by the craftsmanship. It seemed very fine to me. It is an artisanal project. High status. Stranger! It's... Oh man. It's like from Dark Messiah Might and Magic. Stranger! Abomination! Greetings. Greetings to you. Does he give me the Vulcan salute? Welcome to Mercy. You have come to trade? Actually, I'm looking for someone. What is with the pig? What? I don't... Actually, I'm looking for someone. Who? Not a Merzian, surely. We are alike as ants to you. That's not true. So you are looking for a Merzian? I'm hoping a Merzian can help me. We see strangers from time to time. Mostly they buy the rice. They think they pay well, but they don't. But there's no one here now who shouldn't be. Or there wasn't. Good luck with your search. They say the nebula is wide. Friendly people you got here. Helpful. Is that what he said? Never hear, but I think he was lying. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he even said that. Mistress, if I may ask, if you weren't rooting in the mud for lost roboticists, what would you be doing at this moment? I'd be sailing the uncharted reaches of the nebula looking for shipwrecks. There are places out there where no one's been for hundreds of years. There are echoes of ancient voices. But no. Instead, I'm standing in pig muck. Otherwise, I'd be scouring the markets of Elbereth for interesting objects. Things have a life of their own, Six. Things survive. Things travel from moon to moon, from person to person. Or maybe I'd be in the library with Huang reading up on old transcriptions. When the Empire was founded, they threw out the old way of writing. Erased the past entirely. But it's all still there. You just have to know where to look. You don't read ancient, do you? I would not know where to begin, mistress.
Three paths met at the heart of the village. I could imagine them all.
Yeah.
Sitting around here in the evenings, sipping rock.
I want to get more into the meat of what the game actually is.
They seem nice.
So far, this all feels a little like floating around the edges. Nope, stop. Cancel. Hello? No reason for Renba to come here at all. Can you stop? I find the UI in this to be very irritating. I don't remember Renba met that woman on Iox after all. Like, I accidentally clicked something and all of a sudden I can't cancel it. Like, ugh. Alright, can I talk with other people? It seems unlikely we will find Renba here. Shall we leave? I want to look around some more. Why do they build on stilts, do you think? Surely it doesn't flood up here. The mud, perhaps, mistress. Or perhaps animals sleep underneath. Okay, I'm just going to walk this. Good faith to you. My apologies, Ioxian. My pigs need me. What? Please, if you could just... No one wants to talk to me. Another thing. Yes? You're lying. Confess. Do you recognize this? I recognize the symbol of our Ioxian masters, of course. But do you recognize this brooch? No. No one here would own a brooch like that. Not every slave must wear their chains. You aren't afraid to criticize, Iox. What's up, Ragnar? It's true. What would your people do to us? You already take our food. Good faith to you. Someone does not like us. Is that an inscription? At least this won't be a completely wasted trip. It has been mostly scratched away. Symbols in the ancient script. I might be able to translate them. All right, what do we got? Is that a single word? Most likely not. Ancient scribes didn't always trouble to put in their spaces. I don't think they expected their writing to be read. Writing to be read, and then you have these little guesses that you do. So you can start putting things together. So there's something, okay, so holy is definitely there. Holy something. Which leaves one word to guess. Symbols are a little like my translation for emperor. Interesting. I mean, a little bit like it, I guess. It looks like water to me. I don't know. So it's not, it's interesting, Ragnar. It's a little slow to start out, frankly. And I think the UI is and I have to say the graphics I find very like awkward. I don't know what they were going for here. It's not stylized enough to be different in its own way, but it's also not, it's obviously, you know, no one's ever it's not going to win any prizes for AAA level graphic quality, obviously. So it's a little weird. So I don't know. I like this part of it, the translation part, but I'd love to see more of that, frankly, than what we've seen so far. I'm guessing water. Does holy water make sense? What do you see there? Can you read this inscription? A child could read it. The simple simply say, water. Hell yeah, I got it right. It says more than that. We have lived here for many years, Dioxean. Another thing. Yes? No one else in this village would talk to me. And this surprises you? Please, leave us be. Man, they really hate the Ioxians. Excuse me, I haven't dismissed you yet, so please return. Please, I need to talk you. I need to talk you! Is that so? I just want to find this man. His name is Janikwi Renba. Your husband, perhaps, gone wandering? I'm afraid something's happened to him. Oh, I believe it. If we had seen your husband, if he had met with an accident among us, what would Iox do? I just want to know where he is. We have not seen him. Now leave. I don't understand why you're lying to me. Why is this like, it's like comic book? I understand why you're lying to me. The man sighed. Your husband was here. He left in a ship. Then something exploded in the sky. I do not know if that was your husband. Thank you. Good faith to you, lady. Please, leave us be. Okay. Come on, Six. Let's try this way. So if there are no robots, why are there ramps everywhere? Iox uses robots to collect produce from moons in the Protectorate. Seems like it would be easy to stop the robots taking anything. Pull up a few walkways and put some stones in the way. I cannot imagine that would make any difference, mistress. Robots are versatile. I just don't understand the emphasis points. How many moons are there in the Iox Protectorate 6? At the last settlement, it was 23. I suppose there's nothing old here. No ruins, no ancient kings. No crumbled towers? Of course not, mistress. This is a farmyard. Look at this thing. Where is she from? From the material, I would judge it was not quarried here, but most likely close by. It's very big, you understand. You can't be sure? No. It has been here long enough for its various radiation signatures to have faded. I was hoping there might be an inscription on it, but... Aha! Is this almost buried in the grass? A shard of crystal. Does it mean anything to you, Six? It is most curious. This moon does not contain any crystals of this type. But the brooch Master Renba sent to the professor does. The mineral is the same. Aha! Indications of the crystal moon. Alright. Let's see. What kind of crystal is it, Six? Iolite, mistress. Valueless. So there's a hidden site somewhere. Someone's carved something here. More glyphs. Ha-ha! Okay. Looks familiar. This is 2 words, not 1. Where does 1 word end and the next start? Well, that's definitely water. Achievement unlocked. Language beginner. Learn 3 words. Okay, that's water. I don't know why I didn't learn it before, but there's only 1 word still to resolve. Guessing water goddess. Yeah, because we've got the combination of emperor and holy. Put that together and water goddess seems reasonable. Could still change my mind, but water goddess? Never seen the water goddess before. Okay. Back to the ship, Six. I think we got what we needed. See, I actually enjoy this language mechanic, although I haven't gotten my head all the way around it yet. And so we left the warm, wet fields of Maercy. I just want more of that, though. So we found out that people of Maercy do not like Iox. And we found out a few more words. Aboard the Nightingale, someone left a shard of crystal on Maercy. It might have been Renba, but if so, why? Was he making an offering or leaving a message? We could otherwise sail to Iox and tell Mayari what we've learned so far about Renba. Nope, we're not doing that. We need more info. The crystal we found, mistress, the elements inside the brooch. They originate from a moon somewhere on the edge of the cyclones. Iolite moon in the cyclones. Chunk of crystal Remba left on Maersi came from distant backwater of the nebula. Did Remba really travel this way? I know enough to find this site. Never been that way. No one has. Those are wild rivers. I wonder, what exactly did Remba discover? We better find out. Put out the sails, 6. All right. Let's plot a course. The Verdant Pass, sailing to the Iolite Moon. I feel like almost every game has the Verdant Pass. Feels like so many games have something like the Verdant Pass at some point. Are there other ships on the rivers, Mistress? Ooh, there we go. I have not seen any. There are other ships out here. Oh, I went the wrong way. But you rarely see them. Everyone goes at the same speed. Silk Pass. So no one ever passes you by. Just give me bad memories of Rainbow Road and Mario Kart. Path turns right shortly, Mistress. People who like people stay on the ground. You do not like people, Mistress? That explains a lot. Yeah, it does. Tell me. Is there anything you do like? I like you, 6. I like silence? It's funny. This reminds me a little bit of the feel of Journey in this section, between the music and the either of the rivers leads to our destination, Mistress. All right. And the sense of movement. I really didn't like Iox on my RC. I always thought Iox treated the other moons well. Vicinity of Iolite Moon. My findings indicate the Iolite Moon is nearby. Alright. Let's search there. Okay. You hold left and right if you want to stop. Interesting. Okay. Above the crystal moon. Why would anyone come to a lonely spot like this? So we're going to find out. We have arrived, Mistress. The moon below us is rich in purple iolite crystals, but there is no surface flow. We cannot land the ship. Rendo must have gone down somehow. Indeed. Most likely he used a hopper. We might do the same. Hopper? The Nightingale is fitted with a hopper, of course, for instantaneous travel. How does it work? There is a source. The source fires at a subject and casts it into the hopper's eye. The eye refracts the signal. It is focused and reconstituted. So it's the transporter. But how does it work? I have no idea whatsoever. Is it safe? Not really, mistress, no. This moon does not have any air. I will have to go down alone. But you're sure the iolite crystal came from here? Statistically certain, mistress. Moon is rich in deposits of iolite. Please wait here. What else can I do?
A moment later, the robot was gone.
That's the transporter, huh?
And I was alone in the dark.
Ugh. Seems quiet up here now. It's always just when you get used to robots that they disappear on you. What were you up to, Renba? If you didn't find robots on my airseat, what did you find? Mistress. I found something, mistress. Renba hid this box down there? It was a superb hiding place, mistress. No. Whether it's Renba's doing or not, I could not say. No, I'm a little tired. It's not the game that's putting me to sleep, although it's not exactly thrilling, but we could take it back to Mayari. I do not think Renba is inside, mistress, unless he is in carefully arranged pieces. And I'm supposed to open it now and find out? I cannot, mistress. I hope there isn't a snake in here. A roll of cloth? Why would Renba hide something like this? Must have had a reason, mistress. His choice of hiding place was extreme. Extreme hiding place. Thick fabric. Janiqui, what is this? Some kind of robe? But it's hundreds of years old. And there's something stitched along the belt. Tiny characters picked out in a darker thread. Purple robe. This is a long one. Let me think. Okay, so Emperor and Holy. I see the Emperor part. Possibly light. Although it might be Guardians. Okay, and then this one, well, that, whoops. Chose this translation for a reason. Let's see if I can remember what it was. Yes. Can you do that with something different, please? Guardians. Okay, related words, yes. What? Hello? Thank you. Okay. Goddess for sure. Okay. The UI on this is really annoying. I would like to access the word. Can I not do that? Goddess, so maybe prayers? That's definitely holy. That's pray. Guardians' prayers pray? Guardians' prayers pray. Are you following your goddess, Renba? Of some ancient faith, perhaps, kept secret from the powers back on Iox? Secret from Mayari herself? There's more in here. This is a goddess of water model carved from copper. It's beautifully preserved. Her back has been etched with symbols, mistress. This one is a broken fragment from a longer phrase. Okay, so it's definitely pray. It's definitely pray, for sure. I'm feeling confident about my translation of pray. Alright, so pray is definitely there. And we got another achievement unlocked, which is completed one translation. Pray, simple enough. This comes from the same site as the robe, I think. Having this should be useful in tracking down where these were made. Okay, Eye of the Cyclones. Okay. But that's not all. How much would you pay? There's also a finely made book bound in wood. How did Renba get his hands on all this? The binding is in fantastic condition. This book must have been part of some ancient courtier's personal library. And there's some writing along the spine. Okay, let's see. We have, oh, excuse me, Emperor and water. Nah, it's not that. Might be Palace. Because you can see. Yeah, it might be Palace. The second word doesn't look like anything I've seen before. I don't know. Of. Every Palace of every knowledge, like a library. Palace of every knowledge. I think this is from a totally different place than that model of the robe we found before. In fact, I don't think we've seen anything with this kind of paper before. So it must have originated on a site that's entirely new to us. So are these leads? Or are these things what Renba was after? Please wait, mistress. I will consider the matter. Can you work out where the robe originated? I fear so. It is not a good location, mistress. But Professor Mayari was keen that we found Master Renba. And I am sure Master Renba is equally keen to be found. Show me where he went, Six. I am not exactly certain, mistress. but I believe Renba traveled far from home. Into the eye of the cyclones. Okay. Hey. What's up?
Just checking in. We think we went onto the main street actually and got some pizza. There's some left over of mine you can have.
Okay. So yeah, I'm finding this interesting. I'm trying to give it time because I want to see if this picks up. I really like the translation part of it. I'm finding the stuff around the how do I put this? The stuff around the outside of the main game mechanics so far feels very loose to me, by which I mean I feel kind of like I'm not falling asleep because of the game, but I am feeling a little adrift, almost literally, where I'm kind of like, what is this? Like it's, so that's, yeah. So I don't know. I need to give it a little more time. It's the high of the cyclones. It's the thrill of the... Sailing to the eye of the cyclones. I'm sailing away. Set an open course to the cyclones. Okay. Whoa. Does the robe's origin suggest that there's a cult living inside the cyclones? Whoa, speed. Doing what? Hope that's the right way. Worshipping the storm? Like, part of it is that I think the voices, it is possible, are not particularly distinct. So I feel like a lot of them are like, what about this random question? What about this random question? Humans have very strange hobbies. Like, that's obviously 6, but... A ruin. I would guess it dates from the Holy Empire, mistress. I will investigate,
the
mistress.
robot hoppered away, and I was alone. Then it came back.
I recovered a battered water bearer goddess statuette fashioned from silver. I wonder how long it's been out there. The base seems to be inscribed, mistress. Okay. Like, I like this part. This one is a fractured piece from a longer phrase. Okay, so we got goddess. Goddess of. Okay. Nothing. I think this originates from the place we're after. It must be nearly there. This will make the exact spot we're currently looking for easier to locate. Hold on, 6. Ooh. I cannot hold on, mistress. We're in one piece. We appear to be. Vicinity of the Eye of the Cyclones. Okay. We better check the hull when we next land. Okay. So, unexplored ruin. Seem to emerge close to the eye of the Cyclone's mistress. I mean, this part's very pretty, too. See which way to turn at this branch, mistress. All right, well... Just hoping it's this way. We'll have to choose one and explore, alright? Yeah, the whole game feels very trippy, which is fine, but like... I see it. Something up ahead. A moon? That's no moon. There is air, but no upriver, mistress. You'll need to leave the ship here and hop her down. Please do not be alarmed. It is quite safe. Meant to be a milieu exploration? Yeah, I mean, it could be. The Eye of the Cyclones. Will Renba be waiting for us here in the center of the storm? I think one of the things that the game I notice is suffering from is a lack of investment in this Renba guy. Like, you start out and like this Aaliyah who, you know, saved you, but you seem to have problems with her, although it's not clear why, is just like, can you go do this? And you're like, okay, sure. And then you just go do it. And so it's like, there's not a lot of like, I need to find this person because, you know, so that's one of the things there.
The hopper fired, and for a moment I was gone.
If I ask for it,
Not
Miranda,
aboard the
yes.
Nightingale, not
If
the
I
moon
ask for it,
beneath.
but I may not need the help.
It could have been a heartbeat.
So
or a
wait, I
howl.
guess, is what I would say. Partly because it's the part that I find most interesting about the game.
But I didn't feel the cold until I reappeared.
A pile of rocks, mistress, smashed together by the waters. It seems Janiki had a taste for places like this. I wonder why. Perhaps he did not like people. This way, then. I hope he'll be pleased to see us. Do you think we'll find him? I prefer to believe that we will. I would like to meet him again. I do not remember him well, but I bear him no ill will. Perhaps Renba is waiting for us just around this corner. We can hopper him back to the Nightingale. And this chapter of my life will be done, even though I have no reason to believe that'll happen. Perhaps, mistress, perhaps. We only hope. Hold it! 6. What's that?
Here, in the middle of the hurricane, there was a house.
Hurricane.
It was fine. Tucked in below the overhanging rock.
I mean, fine is a
Wooden
relative
beams,
term.
mud brick walls, shutters. Large enough for 2 families to argue over. It would have been measly on Iox and grand on Elbereth. But here, it was impossible.
Agree, Miranda. Someone built this? Buildings do not occur naturally, mistress. Yeah, thanks, 6. How did Janiqui find it? I hope we can ask him, mistress. Blocked with rubble and ruin. This whole place must be slowly peeling away from the cliff. Perhaps you might forego going inside? So what should I do? Just go back to Iox and say we got so far, then we gave up? You don't think she'd send us right back here? I do not think Professor Miyari wants you to sprain your ankle, mistress. Or as it says here, sprain your ankle. Refined like ruins. I know you don't have feet, 6, but honestly, they're not as delicate as you seem to think. So are robots capable of hope? Certainly. We calculate odds, of course. But even the most unlikely outcomes must always eventually occur. Hope is a mathematical certainty. That's a good line, actually. That's actually one of the best lines in the game. Hope is a mathematical certainty. I like that, yeah. It's true, too. Mathematics does not care whether you like it or not, mistress. I don't understand the weird emphasis points. Some kind of structure. There's a plinth inside. It looks like a shrine. It might help me date this place. Figure out what it's supposed to be. Like, I just overemphasized it to show you how silly it is. Like, I don't understand what they're doing there. I could vault over the wall here. Please, mistress. The floor beyond would only give way beneath you. Do you see any other way in? No, neither do I. The floor looks like stone to me, 6. So it is heavy and more likely to fall. Maybe that's what happened to Renba. Or that we don't speak for the hole. He fell through a hole in the floor. Here goes. Floor seems sound enough. 6. 6. 6. Where did the robot go? Well, it's time for 7. Look at this place, Aaliyah. No one would live here. They couldn't. Yes, it's like TV shows of Bible stories for kids that used cutouts and very basic animation, which in turn were based on actual cloth cutouts on felt boards. Yes, that is true. That is what it feels like. That I think is like, I think it's sort of an artistic choice, Marinda, about like you're always an image of your past left behind you. Why build something as big as this out here? Who is it for? Huh. What was this good for? Absolutely nothing. Okay. Anyway, so I think that's what it's about, but I have to say I don't think it works, because I think all it ends up doing is kind of confusing us a little bit.
Reading, doing whatever ghosts do. The house was empty, but it hadn't been abandoned.
I think it's one of those things that sounds like a good idea, but doesn't necessarily work in practice. Walls simply made. Lots of wood must have been brought here. Brought from Maercy, maybe? Mistress. It is good to see you intact, mistress. How did you get down from that arch? I could not climb over the wall, so I drove myself off the cliff edge. What? Once I had dug myself out of the sand, I found a door. Now you understand why I keep losing robots. They're always doing stupid stuff like that. A fire poker. Might be worth something to someone. Stow it. Stow the fire poker in my bag. I'm sure that's the case. There's an inscription up there. It's intentional. It's intentional. This is the end of a longer line of text. It's clearly intentional, but I just don't know that it works. Okay, let's see. Water, obviously. Goddess, obviously. With. Water. So we don't know about goddess. This might be wrong. And with might be wrong. Don't have enough to work with yet. Does water goddess with work? The water goddess from Maersi? Is this place directly connected to Maersi then? The place is empty. No ancient cults here. Someone curled up here by the fire to keep warm. Someone died here, mistress. You're sure? The evidence is minor but significant. A person lay on the floor here for some time after death. Renba? No. Whoever died here died scores of years ago. The lack of moisture on this moon has preserved the traces, but they are old. Sorry, they are old. So where are the bones? The person who lay in state here was only removed recently, maybe by Renba. Are you saying Janiqui took them? What remained of them? Someone did. That's horrid. Why would he do that? I am unsure, mistress. Something must have led him to this place. There must have been something here that he needed. That's even more horrid. Yes. Yes, it is. Good talk. This looks interesting. Beautifully made. Much nicer than everything else here. I estimate it to be hollow, mistress. Something inscribed on the lid. Might be a clue as to what's inside. Whoa. Coffer lid. More words I don't know. I'm going to guess treasures of great, probably. Great water? No. Great. Great number, maybe? It's interesting to guess this based on previous words. Treasures of great number? Yeah, it's again, I can't make my mind up yet. Myra will be most excited by this find, mistress, whatever proves to be inside. That sounds interesting. I think it's a reliquary. A place to put your belongings when you die. The idea is you get them back when you return. Do people often return from death, mistress? Let's see if I can shift it. Curses. Can't even get my fingers under the lid. Iron poker, though. I might be able to snap the lock. Let's go, snap. Same, Mrs. Dunsel. Just, is it moving? It's definitely shifting. Here goes, then. Got it. Let's see.
And there it was, just lying there. The greatest treasure I ever found.
6. It's a cinnamon bun. No, look at this.
Inside the coffer, from the distant past of the Nebula's once great empire.
Incredible.
It was a crown.
A crown. The eagle and sun motif. Just like Janiqui's brooch. The mark of the empire. Could this be the crown of Iox itself? What's this crown doing out here? Is this a seat of power in the Empire? This place doesn't seem possible. There's something written along the rim. Oh boy. I have no idea. Tord, maybe? That looks like something about treasures. There's water in there. It could be like... ways. Toward ways of... light guardians. I still don't even know if that's true. Closest thing we have there is prayers. Like, endure? Forever. That is not that close. Toward ways of light guardians endure forever. That will do for now. That's sort of a step. Because it's interesting because you guess it, and then you kind of guess parts of it, then you have to go back and adjust it. So, is this crown what Mayari wanted us to find? Is this why she sent us out here looking? Or she sent us looking for him. Renba too, perhaps? Mistress. I will have to tell her, mistress. Her motives hardly matter. You won't tell her anything! Just kidding. A workbench. Whoever lived here would have needed to be self-sufficient. Then they would have needed water, mistress. The building won't actually cave in on us, will it? I cannot guarantee that, mistress. It was made by farmers. Wait. Okay. Anything hiding in the shadows? Certainly there is.
After the dead air of the house, it was good to see the sky again.
You have acquired one promising artifact here, the crown. It would seem this site was connected to somewhere else. I suggest we take the crown to Professor Mayari directly. We must also inform her of our theories about Renba. Wish me to activate the hopper now, mistress? I will. I'm not finished yet, thanks. There must be more to this place. I want to know who lived here, who died here, and what happened to Renba. And there's an inscription. There's something carved into the rock here. That's what save scumming. They don't have save scumming here. They have save points. Crown might be cursed. When you know for sure, I think it's when you get confirmation, Marinda, either from something that happens in game, like meeting someone who knows the word, or from confirming it on multiple occasions. That's when it changes from one to the other. Banished. This is of, maybe. Okay, so that's right. That little tick mark is definitely of. Fast learner, learn 5 words. Okay, so that's definitely of. So now you can see that it's become a set word. Let's see now. Something of something. Source, maybe, of life. That's got to be life. Source of life. That feels right. That's the shrine. Assuming it's not an outhouse. The shrine was built here. Is the stone inside from Mayersi? No, mistress. I do not know where it is from, but Maersi does not have stone like that. Is this channel natural? I don't think it is. Dug out. There must be a wellspring here. A feeble one. One that requires every drop to be used. Water would have run down the channel right past the house. Imagine having a stream of your own. Not a bad way to live. If you can withstand the soul-crushing loneliness. Someone lived out here. They irrigated the land, prayed. Here, in the eye of the cyclones. Some kind of hermit. It's the eye of the cyclones. It's the thrill of the fight. Hang on. We'll come back to that cutting in the rock in a minute. First, I'm going to the shrine. We didn't see any shrine houses on Maersi like the one here. Not even small ones. An older custom, perhaps? Iox does not permit shrines, mistress. There's another inscription. Every time I find this inscription, I'm like, ooh. Yeah, I guess just because too much stuff from context confirms that it's got to be something like that, I would guess. Aha, so this is emperors, for sure. Forever? Maybe live, because that might be life. Not rule. Emperors live forever. Emperors live forever work. Emperors here? What were emperors doing out here? Because we got the crown, so that's why I thought. According to legend, the last emperor disappeared after Iox fell. He didn't die there with everyone else. Are you suggesting he came here? Why not? It would explain a few things. Not least that crown. Stone pedestal. With someone in it. She seems familiar. That water goddess, right? It's the same as the statue of Maersi. There's the connection. Indeed, mistress. Mistress, you can recognize her by her hat. Should tell us a little more about this place. And here's some inscribed tiny characters in ancient script on it. I can barely make the letters out, they're so tiny. Okay. So, this one is a blurry piece from an even longer phrase. Alright, so we've got sacred for sure. We've got guardians, if that's the case. We've got with or of. Something's gone wrong. I must have used the wrong words. Oh, wait. What? It can't be sacred? Oh, interesting. So goddess. Guardians with. I believe you can be confident of your translation for goddess now, mistress. Okay. So goddess is right, but my translation guardians doesn't feel right now. So guardians gets taken off. So it means we don't know what that word is, but hopefully I can make some better guesses for the rest of this. Okay, goddess. That's water. It's got to be water. So drink or flow. Flow, maybe. Goddess flow with us? Goddess flow with us. I know, right, Miranda? The shrine itself is made of stone. Because water is so important in this place, but it's not the same stone as the moon itself. Is it as old as the building? The outer structure is, certainly. But the stone pillar, no. The buildings here are significantly older than the pillar. How old would you say the pillar was? Mid to late Empire period, mistress. Moving it to this moon must have been difficult. An important ritual object? It is significantly more valuable than the goddess we found within. Okay, interesting. I don't want to go back to the ship yet. Okay, so we got that. Calculate the building is at least 700 years old. And it's intact. Away from the rivers, there is little to disturb the stones. I have been observing the rate of weathering on them. Extrapolating, this building is older than the founding of the Holy Empire on Iox. You know, Six, back on Iox, they say nothing is older than the Empire. That the Empire and the Fall are all that has ever been. My apologies, mistress. I did not wish to offend. I mean instead that this building is older than anything on Iox by several hundreds of years. All right, there's a cutting in the stone over there. What's that smell? What's up, Coven? Flo, the new dance move. I like to praise the sun by all the moons and waters. Whoa. Dang. It's a ship. Hasn't been destroyed that long either. I mean, was a ship. It was a ship. Coven, this is a game where you go around and we're trying to search for a roboticist, a missing roboticist called Janiqui. Can we be sure this is Janiqui's ship? No, mistress. And that's my main character with this Robot 6. The circumstantial evidence is very strong. And you, like, gather and try to translate language. Did someone blast it from the sky? Really, mistress? That seems speculative, to say the least. What could do that? Renba didn't hop her down. He landed his boat. Tried to. Or else he wasn't able to return. There are traces of an explosive propellant, mistress. I suspect Master Renba attempted to detonate himself off the surface of the moon. Seems rough. The fire here must have burnt up a lot of air. The remaining atmosphere is thin, mistress. Still, I believe the fire was extinguished before it consumed the whole ship. So what do we do now? Return to Iox and inform Professor Miari, mistress. I'm not going to do that yet. I suppose. I always assumed we would find Renba. I assumed. I don't know. That he was expecting us somewhere. Perhaps you can take the matter up with Renba in his next life, mistress. How do you know he's dead? Poor Miari. She's going to be heartbroken. He may not be dead. Yeah, presumably the ship was still burning as it fell. I have to be honest, Coven. I have watched it. I don't understand the Loop Hero. I don't get it. I watched Memories in 8-bit playing it for a while also. To me, the graphics are so bad that I have no idea what I'm looking at. And I've watched a good half hour to 45 minutes of it being played. I saw Teak play some of it, and I was like, what am I looking at? So I have to say it is. I don't think it's up my alley. I would have liked it more, but I feel like I'm just looking at like random pixels. I have no idea. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Right, and I watched Rob playing a little bit too. That's right. Do you think Janiqui found the crown, Six? I do not think that coffer has been opened in at least 500 years, mistress, but he must have known it was here. Why else come? Perhaps Janiqui took something else with him. If so, that other item is lost. It must have been an explosion, mistress. Enough to be seen on Maersi. And Janiqui himself? Mistress. There is no hope. What? Hope is always an option. Janiqui must have been sailing when it fell. He cannot possibly have survived. What I can't figure out is this. What was Renba doing finding ancient sites? He must have been following some kind of trail, mistress. But how that trail began and where it was leading him, most unclear. What were you hiding, Renba? A good question, mistress. But he cannot hear you. Oop. There's something wedged under here. Seems to have survived the fire. Please, please don't be an arm. It's not an arm. It's a leg. Ah! A beautifully crafted telescope. I think it dates from at latest the earliest Empire period. This must have been aboard Janiqui's ship. Another of his finds. Whoever made this didn't add an inscription on the casing. I guess that this comes from the same site as the book. The one we discovered on the side of Renba's cache. This new find should help us to find the place. Somewhere out in the nebula. Is there a way down? There might be more clues down there. I do not believe it would be wise, mistress. Indeed, I believe it would be quite the opposite. Mistress, when I see an artifact, I can position its origin point using minor radiation markers, but I am at a loss to understand how you do it. You remember what my job is, don't you? It is. I could speed it up a little bit. It was going too fast before. Thank you, Dragon Spirit, for the Prime sub. I appreciate it, man. Speaking of games, put some in savings, tax, and stimulus money to future-proof my PC and buy a PS5. Should be in within the next 2 weeks. I'm excited. Oh, it sounds good all the way around. Yeah, I'm gonna speed up the text a little bit. It was too fast before, but I think it's too slow right now. It's lots of little things. The composition of the material. Different minerals prevail in different parts of the nebula. But also the workmanship. Carving techniques, brushstrokes. These things are like fingerprints if you know what you're looking at. But materials move around, surely. Of course they do. Yeah, no, it just reminded me that I would like to go faster, but only when people carry them. Tracing the movements of things is another way of tracing the movements of people. In the end, the things aren't really that important. Must have burned for days. What do we tell Miari? The truth, surely, mistress. Janiqui is gone. You don't know that. You don't know that. This channel comes up from the rock. The wellspring must be down there somewhere. The spring is dead now, mistress, and you are breathing the last air this moon has to offer. Janiqui is not here, mistress. Neither is anyone else. Are you ready to go now, mistress? No. Soon, not yet. What is a wellspring, anyway? Even though I already know. A source, mistress, nothing more. But what is a wellspring? How does it work? It is a source, mistress. It has no mechanism as I understand it. I can barely see the rivers above. And yet there's something here. Yeah, I agree. Much too much. Oh, nice. What else is out here waiting to be found? Mistress, please. We should not linger. If anything were to go wrong out here, we would never be found. Someone would come looking for us. We're out here looking for Janiqui, aren't we? Janiqui is Miari's friend. Are you? Honestly, I have no idea. Alright, so looks like we should probably head back. Can your tracks handle this kind of terrain, 6? Excellently. Whoever designed my tracks appears to have had this kind of ground in mind. If I get tired of walking, maybe you can carry me. If you get tired, I will hopper you back to the ship. Yeah, that's awesome, Coven. I'm glad you're able to get one. Renma must have really wanted to hide what he hid in that box of his. I wonder why. There's something carved above the door. Aha! I would have missed this. See? This one is several words. I would have missed this. Okay, that's life. Whoops, no it's not. Okay, live. I'm certain my translation for live is right now. Good. That might actually help with some of the other words now. Okay. Live long and prosper. Okay. Many, perhaps? Which is like great. Many live here? Many live here. A blessing to keep, some kind of blessing maybe? So iolite crystals from the site of Renba's cache must have been mined during the Empire period to make things like that brooch Renba found. There might be some evidence of that work left, or some artifacts from connected sites. Alright, so I should have... Okay. Live. Solvable inscriptions. Okay. Goddess of water. Okay. Water goddess. Chiban unlocked. Translations. Reader completed 3 translations. Okay. So having opened up this other stuff allows me to open these things now. Achievement unlocked. Completed 5 translations. Translations Decipherer. Interesting. This is really this part of it's really interesting. Okay, sounds good. Be safe, Coven. All right, so got a lot of that stuff. Thinking our guess about Renba finding robots on Maersi must be wrong. That box was old artifacts, nothing to do with robots at all. Indeed, mistress. All right, let's head back to the ship. Take us back to the ship, 6. Please stand by, mistress. All right, so maybe I report this back to Maersi. I mean to, what's-her-face? Mania?
Darkness.
This is not the Nightingale. 6? 6, this isn't the ship. It's cold in here. There you are. Where's your head? Mayari. Mayari? You followed me, Lexi. As I thought you might. Because you knew. Because you've always known. Of course I came. You laid a trail for me, so here I am. Renba. You are quite alone, Mayari. And I have seen the truth of your lie. You are not what you claim. I know this, Mayari. You asked me to look, and I found so much. So who am I? You are just what you appear to be, and nothing more. Renba, you're a robot? I'm sure someone would have told me that. There isn't time. I found something. Something that matters more than me. Lexi, there is a great darkness, an all-consuming, hungry darkness, and it is coming. Darkness? There is an ancient place, Mayari. An observatory. It is watching, and it holds the wires of our fate in its claws. What fate? The loop is a lie, as you know. I will find it before the vault is lost. The robots know, but they don't remember. Someone long ago made certain they would not remember. Renba, how do I help you? You have my apologies, mistress. I do not understand the question. 6? Yes, mistress. I observe we are not back on the Nightingale. There must be something wrong with the hopper. I will look into it. This way, mistress. You don't remember how we ended up in here? Hoppers can misfire due to imperfections, mistress. The eye aboard your ship is quite old. And no one called you just now? Evidently not, mistress. I was talking to Renba. Just now. Through you. Mistress, Master Renba is dead. That's where you're wrong. Although given hoppers require a line of sight to a hopper eye, I cannot see how we ended up at this spot. Some process of refraction, no doubt. I see where we are now. Although I still don't see how we got in there. We have obtained one more interesting artifact here, the telescope. With luck, we'll be able to trace it. Are you ready to go yet, mistress? Do you think it'll work properly now? I thought it would work last time, but I do not see much alternative. Shall I use the hopper again, mistress? Yeah, do it. Send us back to the right spot, though, this time, please. You ready, mistress? His head was always suspicious. And so we left the surface of the ruined Hermitage moon near Miercy. Aboard the Nightingale, we should sail to Iox and tell Mayari what we've seen. And I'm sure she wants to see the crown. Okay, we'll sail to Iox and then we'll call it. But just look at this thing. The workmanship is beautiful. It is more than a simple crown, mistress. It's a symbol. This was Iox's power lost after the fall. To regain it would be a sign that Iox was once more the center of the nebula. More than that, mistress. I believe the metal is a casement for a mechanism of some kind. Does it open? Not any way I can see. But if it does contain a mechanism, I would expect a method by which it might be serviced. I have a friend on Elbereth who might be able to help. She'd be able to open it up and take a look at it safely. The occupants of Elbereth are hardly trustworthy. I'm from Elbereth. I will bear that in mind. Actual crown of the Empire. I think so, anyway. It's beautiful enough, but that doesn't explain what Renba was doing with it. She looks at home here. Presumably she was fashioned on Miercy. Clay being a material derived from waterlogged mud. Wonder if the Miercians want it back. The robe Janiqui hid. I wonder if we'll ever know what was so special about this robe. Look out there. It seems to go on forever. Mistress? Look out there, Six. It is indeed beautiful, mistress. It comes from somewhere else. That's clear. But where? And is that place where Renba is? I cannot analyze for that, mistress. I'm going to rest, Six. Very good, mistress. I believe I can handle the ship. Back to Iox? Back to Iox. Yes, mistress. Okay. Elbereth, Gilthoniel, Silveren, Penamiriel. I'm wondering, I mean, Elboreth, Elbereth. You'd have to assume pretty close. University of Iox. We should tell the professor what happened to Renba. We should do that.
After the empty house in the cyclones, Iox felt positively busy.
Have you sailed before, Six? I don't know, mistress. When I connect to the winches aboard the ship, they do seem to fit. I wonder if I once enjoyed sailing. Perhaps you crashed a ship into that hole you were found in on Iox. Buried yourself at high speed. I was buried the right way up, mistress. I think someone ordered me to stand still while they poured the cement around me. Oh, jeez. Could someone order you like that? You wouldn't try to preserve yourself? I think perhaps a primary user could. I do not know. Interesting. This feels like a game to me that is in the... It's been a while since I've had a game this sort of difficult for me to get a handle on. Because on the one hand, I can see I can see some of what I can see the appeal. I can see what is interesting about it for sure. The language is interesting. There's kind of a languid pace about it. I obviously love, as I said when I was playing Metroid the other day, I love sort of implied lore, and implied story. So I definitely was enjoying that part of it. The language thing is cool. I'm not sure that the stuff around the outside of it is interesting enough. I think they made some weird graphical choices that I don't understand, because it's like they create a certain kind of graphic mode and then they spend their whole time leaning into what I think is one of the bigger weaknesses of the game. Like, it's one thing if you don't have the money to spend on graphics, so you kind of paper it over, but they spend a lot of time zoomed in on the rather ugly sort of pixel drawing, frankly, kind of amateurish stuff. I don't really follow that. The UI is also, I think, very loose, like not at all clear to me, and very much different from the way the experience that I've had in playing, for example, their sorcery games or even Around the World in 80 Days. The UI is very like, eh. I like the music a lot, and I think that the story has little moments where it's like, ooh, you know. But I don't know. Yeah, make a game of being an archaeologist linguistics. And I think I'll get back to that in a second, Mar. I think that it is, you know, it has some interesting elements to it for sure. I don't know. I feel like it's a game that almost feels like 2/3 baked. It's not quite ready for prime time, and I know that it came out a while ago and they're not going to be doing anything else with it. But it feels like a game that I think was on the move. If this was like an alpha, or if this was or even a beta, you know, I could see this being something that I'd be like, wow. But as a finished product, I don't know. Yeah, the after image thing I think doesn't really work. I also don't think the characters are that distinct. It's one thing not to have like one of your characters have the protagonist be kind of a cipher that you can see things through. But 6 is just very bland for me as a robot. Like, okay, like I mean, like everyone has made reference to the constant mistress, which gets grating after a while. But there's also just the fact that I just don't find him that interesting. The Renba stuff at the end was sort of interesting, and I feel like there are these little fits and starts. I don't know. It's a kind of game that I might give one more session to try to get a sense if I really like it. And then if I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's real. I'm glad we tried it. I mean, it was, and I appreciate GOG giving me a copy for free. They sent me a copy, so thank you to GOG. I think I like it. And I'm glad we did it for sure. I don't know. I don't know if I'd stick with it or not. It's a game that I feel like I want to like more than I do at the moment, and I think part of that is just the sort of languid kind of. It all feels. It's not the slow pace. It's that it feels kind of like drifting, like it's not locked into a position. And I don't mean holding your hand. If it's fine if it's just sort of broad exploration, but I feel like it's sort of amorphous in terms of what exactly and why, and you don't. The character reason to go after this person seems very shaky to me, so I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Mrs. Dunsel. I feel like it's a game you're like, oh, and then you're like, and I feel like it becomes more and more of a weakness. And I don't know, some strange decisions that are made here. Yeah, and again, like I like it. Yeah, let me close that down. Yes, thank you. I like the concept of it for sure. I just think it's a little. I don't know. I like it, but it feels like sort of an odd thing to kind of make something. I don't know. I'm not being very clear in what I'm saying about it because I don't totally know what I think about it myself. I think it's intriguing. If I had to really put a label on it, I think it's intriguing but half-baked. It doesn't feel done to me. I mean, that's what I would say. It doesn't feel done. It feels like those graphics feel more like placeholder graphics to me. And I think and there are other things, like the sailing of the ship is cool, but it doesn't, like, you don't get enough of it, and it's not really involved enough to really get invested in it. So it just kind of ends up feeling like busy work. You know, like, for example, in Journey, in Journey, like, you're trying to travel from place to place, you're finding things, but literally the way that you travel is part of the game. And so you get very invested in the motion and movement of it. In this, I feel like it's just sort of there to separate sections. And honestly, the thing that I really just wanted to do was just do stuff with the language. Like, the other stuff I found sort of like almost annoyances. Like, I'd be going along, I'm like, all right, long sort of back and forth, not particularly interesting dialogues between what's her name, Aaliyah, between the protagonist and Six. And after a while, I'm just kind of like, can I just get back to the language? So I don't know. I'm just right. Exactly. And the game isn't clear. Yeah. I feel they have an awesome idea. Exactly. They have an awesome idea, but they don't, I don't know that it's fun. So, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. And yes, I will absolutely show off some of these games for sure. One thing I need to figure out how to do, I need to figure out how I can be more mobile from this desktop unit. Because I have obviously my main camera here. I can zoom, I can like myself go back, and then it will focus on stuff back here. Also, I was gonna say, makes me look like I'm like 800 pounds. I am not. But it's really weird. All right, good. I feel better. But this thing over here is like, this thing back here, like, I would love to be able to show some of these things, but it's too far off unless I zoom in further, which I could do. But if I have like these things, yeah, like I counted up. So this is all the tabletop stuff that I have. And then over here, I've got, this is basically all board games, right? So I've got a bunch of board games. Some of them are things like chess. But then I have some rare stuff too. Like, I've got Amoeba Wars, which I bet none of you have ever heard of. I have Clash of the Titans. Check this out. Check this out right here. Yeah, baby. Clash of the Titans. So I've got that. I have games like Descent. I've got that thing down there is Dragonlance, which I'm not going to take out right now, but they've got The Hobbit, Gamma Marauders, Lord of the Rings stuff. So basically I've got 3 shelves full of games, basically, although the shelf over there. And then I have a lot of family games that are downstairs as well. So I've got that. And then I've got a bunch of game books, and I found a metric ton of game books. Anyway, what I would like to be able to do is to be able to take you through a tour of the office when it's done. Now, I did that once before using my laptop, using basically ARVTop. That was not even ARVBox, that was ARVTop. And I could try to do something like that for this. I could try to actually make it where I sort of bring you through using the laptop. But I wish that there was a way to use, like, maybe I could use like my phone and do some kind of IP thing or whatever. Or get like, because the thing is, you only have an effective so far for like a wireless camera. And like my EOS, EOS 300 that I have, my Canon, this camera, has a wireless function, but I'm pretty sure that it can't stream. So I don't think I could stream from the camera to the desktop, even though I'm right here. So it's not an issue of like signal. But no, this thing, no, that is an old, actually AC unit back there, Aaron, which is this massive window unit, which I'm here to tell you I'm not going to be using. Because it basically would go into the window right over here. First of all, this window over here is awesome, and it's part of the reason why there's so much light. Secondly, I do not want that big honking thing. I guarantee you it's not going to be quiet. So when I'm streaming during like July and it's steaming up here, otherwise, I'm not going to have the AC going, not to mention that it weighs like 100 pounds. Like, I had to get a couple of the movers to help me move the thing out. In fact, I don't even totally know. I'm going to have to, when when we do what I'm going to tell you in just a minute, I'm going to have them take that AC out because we're not going to be using it up here. And so, yeah, I could just do that. I could stream from my cell phone. It feels like a shame, Arendt, when I've got this really beautiful setup here and it's like the stuff is right there. It's a shame that I have to then like use my phone to be able to do that. If there was like a wireless cam that could hook into this, or because the thing is I have my webcam as well, I guess I could just get a super long extension. I don't know how long you can extend a webcam before it doesn't work, but you know, we'll see. New house door. Exactly, Div. That's what I wanted. I know. So anyway, what was I going to say though? So anyway, yeah. So I have to figure that out. I'll do the giveaway. Actually, I'm going to do the giveaway now. And while I'm doing the giveaway, we'll talk a little more. And then I got to go over and get ready for, we won't talk long because I have to make sure that I have to go and get ready for, Talisman Adventures in about 35 minutes. So anyway, it seems like a shame and I'd like to be able to see that. So, yes, I am doing a giveaway. What's up, Big Boss? So yeah, the family, Mar, to answer your much earlier question, the family is enjoying it quite a bit. I think that we love the neighborhood. We love the area here is super convenient. I love having an actual little bit of a yard again. And I think that, you know, my son, as long as he's with us, he doesn't really care because he's too young to know. But my daughter, definitely, it was a bit of a change for her. And I think she's getting used to it and sort of enjoying some of the benefits that are to be had here. So yeah. And definitely my wife and I are both in agreement that we're just like, this is good stuff. Okay. What I'm going to give you folks here is, and I'll explain in a minute, Big Boss. We are going to do a giveaway, folks. ArvDog, we need to get on the schedule for ArvDog. What I want to do, I forgot to finish my thought about this. So I'm going to get what they call a mini split unit. It's like a little unit that fits into the wall and allows you to, because this is a 200-year-old house, they do not have central air, and I don't want to have to use nothing but window units. So we're going to actually get installed step by step as we build up the money and can afford it, starting with the attic and then working downwards, a unit which is basically like an inset air conditioner, not in the window, but in the wall. It's like, first of all, it's a small little hole that goes like 3 inches or something between this, excuse me, to the outside. Much more energy efficient, much more stable, and whisper quiet as compared to the AC thing. So that will handle both cooling and heating, because at times up here it got a little chilly, and it would be nice to be able to do that because that will cut down on energy costs for the rest. The problem is that it's not cheap up front, but it's worth doing because long term it's going to be much more efficient for us in terms of money saved. So we're going to be doing that. It will probably go right up here, I think, right over there next to me. It could go over on that side as well. But anyway, so once that's done and that's in place, then the next thing is to deal with the dog. And that's going to be the next plan. We have a call. I know what it's from. Hold on one second, chat. Okay, sorry about that. I got to make a phone call in a minute to deal with a pharmacy thing. Where where was I? Oh, yes. So, anyway, let me, so there was that. Okay, let me go back up here. So, yes, we're going to do a giveaway, and the giveaway is courtesy of Inkle. And what we're going to do is, let's see. Let's make the word, no, I didn't do it right. What? Oh, okay. Dash S. All right, there we go. This is for a copy of Sorcery 1 and Sorcery 2. It is a Steam code, I believe, not a GOG code. But this is a Steam code of Sorcery 1 and Sorcery 2. So if you already have those games and you don't need them again, then don't enter. But otherwise, please do so. And this is courtesy of Inkle, because their PR people reached out to me, I think it was last month when I was streaming Sorcery, and talked to me about doing some giveaway stuff. So that's why I was doing it. Yeah, I was going to give away something else if I had it, but I think it was worth trying this. So yeah. And then up to the other thing, Big Boss. Oh, yes, you can definitely, that's a good point. Big Boss, yeah, thanks, Triffid. You can definitely do that through the Discord. You can DM me on Twitch, although it's just faster to do it on Discord if you join our server there. So that might be the better way to be able to get it. So, yeah. I don't know, Miranda. Hopefully you won't win. So I don't remember how to actually get you out of it, but hopefully you won't win in the middle of it. So anyway, yeah. So to finish what I was doing, this is what happens when I got distracted. So we're going to put that unit in there. Once that unit is in there and covered, then the next thing to do is to get ourselves on a list for the dog. And the reason this is tied together is because one of the things that I've been doing a lot in the house is I bought a new filter for up here called a Coway, which is one of the better air purifiers that you can get. And down below, we have a Honeywell purifier for another one of the rooms. Just because, just moved in, 200-year-old house, we want to make sure the air quality is good, especially for my wife who deals with allergies. And that's going to be super important, especially in advance of getting a dog in here, because my wife is allergic, although not as allergic to dogs as she is to cats. So we've talked about things like the potential for allergy shots, or, you know, doing acupuncture again, which definitely had a big effect on her allergy level. So we're looking at stuff like that. And the dog that we want to get is going to be a dog that is basically, there's no such thing as a completely hypoallergenic dog, but there are definitely dogs that produce fewer allergy problems than others. And so we've narrowed our choices to a few that might have the best combination of temperament and, you know, sort of general breed stability and stuff like that. Probably will have to do it with a breeder, even though my whole life I've gotten dogs from shelters, but we can't wait for the right dog to show up, or it may never show up. So we're looking at a couple of possibilities. That might mean a breeder, because you never, ever, ever buy a dog or a cat from a pet store, Chad. I hope everyone knows this. But that means you got to get on a list, and it's going to take a little while. So that's my long-winded way of saying that. Yes, I did say dog, because I am very excited for a dog. Yeah, no puppy mills. Yeah, I've had 3 dogs, and all of my dogs were shelter dogs, and they were all great. But they, you know, like I say, I don't want my wife, like, honestly, if it was down to my wife being able to breathe or me not having a dog, I'd rather my wife being able to breathe. So I'm not going to put her in a situation where she has to suffer. That said, you know, we are interested, and we have a yard now that can accommodate a dog and the whole bit. The place where I was before, I mean, you know, Lilo, my dog Lilo, lived most of her life with us. I guess, is that right? Yeah, the majority of her life was lived at the place where I was in the Bronx in New York. But that yard was tiny. I mean, it was a postage stamp. And you don't have to have a yard to accommodate dogs necessarily. You can walk them outside. It's actually sometimes a misunderstanding people have that New York City people shouldn't have dogs, because that's not the case as long as you're walking and exercising them, you know, enough and you have the right breed. But that said, she would have loved to run more and be able to do more of that. And it just was harder to do where we were. In this place, I don't live on like 10 acres or anything, but there's definitely more room to be able to maneuver. And so that would be nice down the line. So yeah. So, all right, we're going to close up this. All right, this is your last chance to get in. If you want a copy of Inkle's Sorcery 1 and Sorcery 2, a Steam code for those, then please type in the word Vault. This is courtesy of Inkle. Please don't enter if you don't want those games, but if you're interested in those games, please make sure to get them in. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really digging the way this is looking, honestly. Like, I really do. It's got that blurry background thing that I think is slick, but you still have kind of the look. You can now see actually Gandalf up there. You all see Gandalf that I managed to find and put up there, so I've got that. But my goal eventually is to be able to get it where if I were to tilt the camera upward, oh man, dare I do this? Can I zoom out maybe? Not really too far. So anyway, I don't want to take the time because then I might foul the camera up. But basically up there, right, is sort of a sloped wall, and there's room to be able to put stuff. So I have my Hergé Tintin stuff that I want to put up there. I have a bunch of the Baldur's Gate stuff. In fact, while you're finishing up, I'll show you. Entering the contest, I'll show you. Now, not all of this is going to go up. Not all of this is going to go up, but some of it. Before I do it, I'm going to show you all. As I was going through stuff, I found this. This was taken when I was in high school, and I was in one of these at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia. They had one of these old-time photo places where you could get like a tintype taken. So here is me. That was me back in high school. No beard, no glasses. I mean, at the time I took the glasses off. So that was me back in high school. Yeah. So I must have been like, I don't know, 16, 17. I probably was 16 or 17 there. I have to say, I like that. I actually like that outfit. What's up, Critchwitch? It was a while ago. That was 30 years ago. Did I dress like Willy Wonka? Only in that case. All right, I got to go through these quickly. So check it out. A Baldur's Gate map with, on this side, an awesome old school map of the Sword Coast. That's how they dressed when I was young. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, my son does look like me at that age. So there's that. As I said, these are not all going up, but some of them will. That picture needs to be an emote. I like this a lot. I like that one a lot. That could go up there. We've got the cloth map from Baldur's Gate 2. Shadows of Amn right there. We've got this, the City of Arx. This is from Arx Fatalis. We've got... This is from, I think, Neverwinter Nights is where I had this map. Right, of Neverwinter. We've got this cloth map of Icewind Dale. I don't think I have a cloth map from Ultima. I have a cloth map from, a lot of these, 3 of these I showed you are cloth maps, but I have this one, which is, I think, Might and Magic, I believe. Yeah, it is. It's Might and Magic. Map of the Land of Varn. I got this bad boy, which I probably, this isn't in my wheelhouse, even though I played it, but it is a cool, it's Quake 3 Arena. That's a cool poster. It's just not my. I mean, I don't play Quake so like anymore. So that's probably not. That's not my thing. But this. Now this one I'm almost tempted to put up because Meridian 59 I played a ton of when it first came out. This was really the original graphical MMO before we got, you know, not counting text-based MUDs and things like that. Meridian 59 was like no joke. Meridian 59 was badass. And then of course the ones I showed the other night, and I'm very proud of both of these. This one, first of all. In fact, somewhere I also have a poster of the player's guide version of this, which I might be able to find. But anyway, second edition Dungeon Master's Guide. And one that I'm really, really tempted to put up somewhere. Talisman, the Magical Quest game, baby. Right there. So anyway, one of those things, like a couple of these things are going to go up, and I want to be able to put them up. And that's not counting my, you know, paintings and like, you know, stuff. So I have lots of stuff that I can put up. Give in to temptation. So anyway. All right, that's it. Last call. All right, 11 people entered. This is good. All right, here we go. And because Darksaber will go nuts. I should show the Arx Vitalis one, yeah. I have to figure out a way. See, the problem is it's so far back that, and it's blurred out, which is cool looking, but it means that you can't really see what it is because once that's too small. Like that thing that I showed you is very small. So putting it back that far, I don't know that it's going to, you know, but anyway. Okay, the winner is Big Boss, SNK. Congratulations, Big Boss. You have won an excellent game. The Sorcery 1 and Sorcery 2 games are awesome. So you have won. So Big Boss, this will be really easy. When you contact me on Discord, just remind me that I have something to give you, and then I will give you the Sorcery 1 code. Okay, so I will give you this. Just make sure you contact me. I'll give you the code, and then you can ask me whatever questions you have as well. Sound good, Big Boss? And thank you to Inkle for doing that. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I need to do. That's totally right, Miranda. I need to be like this and just be like, oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to, oh, whoops. Oh, sorry. Oh, goodness. I love this. I actually really, really like this a lot. My pleasure. So anyway, folks, yeah, that is going to do it for me over on this channel, although it is not going to do it for me overall because in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be over on GOG. We are back to our 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. In fact, let me just quickly double check and make sure that's the case. Let's see. Sorry. I'm just making sure. Okay, we got that. Okay. All right, good. So we're all set for today. So this should be at 4 p.m. Eastern. Back to our normal time today. So 4 p.m. Eastern, Space in the Warp the Awards. Oh, thank you, Trevor. That's really sweet. That actually makes me feel good. Thank you. That's a nice thing to say. I hope so. I hope so. I am, you know, I'm hopeful that I can start putting things up there. I have like my first ever check that I was ever paid for writing. I have that, which I'm going to post somewhere, although I don't know where it'll fit exactly. But I mean, I love this background. I set it up exactly the way that I wanted to, and I think it's cool. The only thing that's not as cool is it's not as easy to see stuff around. But again, and this reason this wall is blank again is because the logo is going to go here, and that I think will look really cool. So between that and whatever, it'll all work out. But I'm going to rise up on out of here because at 4 p.m. as I said, we have Talisman Adventures, so you'll want to be there for that. If you like what you saw and heard today, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube at !ArvTube, Discord is !ArvCord, Twitter is !ArvTweets, website is arvanelleron.com, and the financial side is !ArvShop, where you can get merchandise. !ArvTreon is that Patreon, which really does help. 21 patrons, $193 per month, trying to push that north of 200 and onwards, because that definitely makes a difference. You can get inspirations to help the players in our tabletop campaigns as well. And the last tabletop campaign this month is coming up in a bit. So if you've got the inspirations, head over to GOG and, use them or lose them, because they're going to be reset, of course, as of April 1st. And that's the last tabletop thing that I'm doing this month. And then we've got, you did for sure. And it was useful, Echo, as I recall. So there's that. And then, of course, we've got subbing to the channel, as Dragonspear was nice enough to resub to the channel recently, just I think about like a half hour ago or so. And that definitely helps the channel as well. Moreover, if you have not already done so and want to know about the publishing side of things for me, Icarus is my graphic novel from Athos Arts that has just been named a finalist in the Independent Book Publishers Association Benjamin Franklin Awards, which is in its 33rd year for the best graphic novel of 2021, or best 20, I guess, of 20. It's the 2021 awards for graphic novels that were published in 2020. So, but it is one of 3 finalists. It's at least a silver medalist even now, and if it wins, then it'll be a gold medalist. So I'm pretty pumped up about that, about the prospects for that. We'll find out about that in May. Also, library is Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment. Again, that is going to be in print as soon as Customs lets it go. So let's freaking go, because man, let's go. And then, of course, Grayshade KS, which is the Grayshade Kickstarter, which will be launching sometime next month. More details about that coming soon. Otherwise, as always, BLM is Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance of Black lives, and Help Now, which is extremely important. It is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention, and it's important to reach out to others when they need help and to reach out to others when you need help as well. My pleasure, Big Boss, on the giveaway. I will talk to you on Discord whenever you send me that message. Otherwise, I want to thank everyone who was here as always. Thank you to my awesome mods, Dragonspear, Hillness, Jedi Burner, Triffity Mats. Thank you all so much for being awesome. And thank you to my subscribers as well, Dragonspear, Hillness, Jedi Burner, Triffity Mats, Echo Elfix5, Craigery, Crit Twitch, and Mrs. Dunsel. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to my wonderful viewers. Thank you to Madden, to Baka Wolf, to Bak Awful. Thank you to Big Boss. Congratulations again, Big Boss. Thank you to Black Fury, to Barizzle, to Erez, to Arenth, to Gigafrost Gorgar, to Great Butler, to Live Suing, Lurks, Marinda, Questionable Results, Regnar, Silly Gnome, Tauntoms, T-Bank, Tuddled, and Uncle Elias. Thank you all so much for being awesome, amazing people. And I will see you folks over on GOG in just about 15 minutes. Until I talk to you next time, everyone be good to each other. And I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now.